What's up, y'all? You're tuned into Vision and Heels Uncensored, the podcast dedicated to giving you the raw truth on all things V and H. We're talking real-life experiences infused with faith and an unwavering commitment to authenticity.
I'm Yvette Marie Pujol, your Vision and Heels Community Manager, a Cuban visionary with Miami roots.
And I'm Jeanette Marie Rodriguez, the CEO and founder of Vision and Heels, Puerto Rican and Dominican Bronx native, your New Yorican host. We're here to share our take on navigating life, business, and all the hats we proudly wear.
Time to pour the cafecito. Let's dive in.
Hey, y'all. What's up? What's up? It's Jeanette.
And Yvette.
Yay, you have us both this week.
Woo-hoo.
Super excited to have my sidekick back. Hopefully you guys are prepared. I think you're going to hear this after Thanksgiving, so I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving. We're recording this pre-Thanksgiving.
Pre-Thanksgiving. I may have my Thanksgiving after Thanksgiving if my turkey doesn't thaw. It's still frozen. It's in the refrigerator. It's not in the freezer, but if it doesn't thaw, I don't know what I'm going to do.
You're going to have the turkey for Christmas.
Maybe I'll throw it in the pool or something. I don't know.
That's true. Just throw it in the pool.
What happens if I cook
It'll be
frozen?
extra clean.
Extra clean. We'll have ham now and then. You know what we thought of doing? Putting the turkey in the caja china.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Then it'll be like smoked.
Yeah, who knows? We like to season our turkey
you gotta
to
let
where...
me know how that works. So what is a caja china for those that don't know?
A caja china is like a double broiler. What is it? Like a Dutch oven.
That's a Dutch oven, but it's man-made. Like they made these a lot in the islands, and it was a form of celebration.
The literal translation is Chinese box. Mm-hmm. Caja china, or if you're Puerto Rican, orange.
China de caja.
Chinese box. And it was because back in the day, en el año la cuca,
Cuando cuca.
Yeah, cuando cuca, in Cuba, when they were building the railroad systems, they had a lot of Asian migrant workers. I don't know if they were slaves at the time or there were a lot of Asians. So they had no way of heating up their food, so they made a box and they would heat up their food there. And then the other people called it caja china, the Chinese box, because that's where they were cooking their food. But they would take the pigs and roast them in there instead of digging underground and burying the pig underground and cooking it there. They would cook it in a box. So now it's a Chinese box, and that's what we've called the caja china. And we have one, and we generally cook our pigs, we cook our pork butts, but you can cook anything in there.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So why not a turkey?
Why not a turkey?
And we season our turkey like a pernil. We don't season it.
My in-laws used to have a caja china. I don't know if they still do, but I've seen them do it. And I just can't see the animal, like the face in there, like the whole body.
Oh.
If I see the face, I won't eat it.
I've played with it before I've eaten it.
I can't. I start feeling bad. So as long as I don't see the face in it, if the body's in there, I'm okay with the body. The face tells a story, and I'm like, ay bendito, I wonder if it suffered. Yeah, and then I won't eat it.
I unfortunately have no issue whatsoever.
No problem eating it.
I'd be like, oh, look at those cute pearly teeth while I'm eating his butt.
And then my mom will take, what is it? How do you call the
patitas?
The patitas.
I like the ears.
I can't.
Feet?
Yes,
your mom likes the pig's feet.
Yes.
The ears are crunchy
and the
without the fat.
mondongo is the tripe, the lining of the stuff. There's I know. If you start thinking about it, then you're going to become a vegetarian. So hopefully we're not turning you guys off from eating meat.
Then you turn to the potatoes and corn and you're good.
The starches, yes.
So what are you thankful for?
Ooh, what am I thankful for?
I know it's Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Tomorrow is Thanksgiving.
Tomorrow will be, we're recording this day before Thanksgiving. We thought today was going to be quiet and we were going to have all this time to record. And here we are, day is almost over and we're finally getting to record. But we haven't been with each other for a few days. So it's always good times when we're with each other. And it's good and bad because we don't get nothing done. because we're busy catching up and laughing and having
We
fun.
got a lot of stuff done
We
today,
did.
Missy.
It was a busy meeting day. It was heavy
Yes.
meeting, heavy planning, which was okay.
Lots of in and
Yeah,
outs.
we didn't really
had
have too many member stuff.
No, not members, but we did have some tours. People
Tours,
recording here for a
new
movie.
members. We did have a couple new sign-ups. So I guess, yeah, it was busy for a day before Thanksgiving. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say I am thankful. And we talked about our kids a little earlier. So I'm going to say our kids. You know, my daughter and son are amazing little humans. My son is 25, Jaylene's 13, and I could see myself in both of them. Mm-hmm. And they really represent the good part of me. Because, you know, there's some things we don't like about it ourselves. But, like, I see her and I'm like, wow, she's really going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's really going to be okay.
He is okay. He's a
already,
great little human.
I know, he's 25. Can't believe that. So I'm thankful for my babies. They're always going to be my babies.
I know. You and I were talking before we started, and I said, who have I not been thankful for? And I think it's just a given. Everyone who knows us knows that we're thankful for our children. Mm-hmm. And me, same thing for both my girls. I feel with my girls that they are the best of me in two different bodies.
Yes.
Amazing. I now understand what people say.
Amazing ladies, they are.
When they say, oh, your heart walks outside your body. Yeah.
They're beautiful. I mean, her daughters are just...
We have some pretty good-looking kids.
I know, we do. We
like, we were blessed with... They weren't hit with the ugly stick.
Yeah, no,
so
they you know...
They're good-looking
some
kids.
Some fly kids out there. We got some fly kids.
Especially when I saw Matthew last week before you guys went on your vacation. He went and got his hair cut, and he was so handsome.
Yes.
Jaylene, just the same.
Jaylene.
3 pretty girls and 1 handsome young man.
With her curly hair. All right, guys. So today's topic, failing forward with grace. Failing. That's a hard one. Yes, failing forward with grace. Failing and grace typically don't go together, but we're going to make it go together. We're going to talk about some things and some failures, if you want to call them that, and how they ended up being blessings in disguise, right?
How do you deal with failure? Do you consider it as a meltdown opportunity or like a growth opportunity?
Oof, I'm going to say I have my moments. I give myself a mourning period. I'm pretty good about winding myself back. I don't stay in the pity party, but I will have myself a pity party. Mm-hmm. And I'll be upset and poor me, and I can't believe this happened to me, but I don't ever let it go on too long.
Yeah.
And so I give myself a time limit. I have my morning time. Now it's time to make stuff happen. Right? So, yes, I do the pity party. I don't like it. I don't like change. I never did. But with everything good that happened came after a change of some sort. So I know it needs to be done. I have, failed enough times to know what comes after a failure. Yeah. And I've embraced it. Now, I am 45, going to be 46. So it took a while. And of course, my faith has allowed me to do that, but it's never easy. I don't care how many times I do it. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to change. I don't want to prepare for something new. But then I know it's going to bring forth something great, but it's still hard. So. But
you and I have also spoken about you're not competitive, right?
I'm not, and you are.
I am very competitive.
See, I don't like to compete. I just feel like we all can get there together. And
oh no,
and Joe is so. It's like Joe and Yvette hung out a little bit today, and they're both the same. And I told him, "You'll be so proud of Yvette. She's great at sales, and she did this, that, and that." He's like, "Yeah, Yvette." And I'm like, I'm like, oh, okay, I was about to let the sale walk away. It is like
I was very honored.
She was busy, but she kept looking at me. And I'm like, okay, no, I know, Yvette, I know.
I was very honored to have been acknowledged by Mr. Rodriguez, the king of sales.
Yeah, he can sell, and he's always trying to sell me something, too. And I'm like, babe, I'm your wife. It's coming out the same bucket. What are you doing?
Yeah, but he and I are very competitive, and I think that... that stems from not wanting to fail.
Yes.
And anytime there's an opportunity to win,
I
want to be on that team.
Right.
I wanted to be on that team. if
You wanted to be on the winning team.
Always.
And me, I wanted to find the folks that failed so I could just be happy with them and say, don't worry, there's always a next time. That's why I never got into no competitive sport. I dance because you can dance with everybody, like, you know.
But the older I get,
I can't
know, like, if we're playing a game, I'll be competitive. But if there's an opportunity to allow someone else to win and have them feel better,
see you do that. I could see you do that every day.
Then been there, done that kind of thing. But my initial reaction is win.
Yeah.
So that's I think how I'm wired. That's why failure was difficult for me.
Because you saw it as failing and not winning.
Right. Like, and I think because of different things that we've spoken about, winning means you're perfect. And if you weren't perfect, then what are you even doing?
Right.
Like, why even do something if it's not going to be perfect? And I think that's where a lot of people struggle, that they just don't do anything at all if it's not going to be perfect.
Right.
That's why I think more people should be allowed to fail. That's why, unfortunately, both our children, they're in competitive fields.
Yeah.
Yours in volleyball, mine in dance. And even in school, when I was a teacher, a lot of kids aren't allowed to fail. Everyone's given a participation trophy, or
Joe hates that.
You're being
He's like, let them earn it.
You either earn it or, hey, try harder. If you really want it, the next time, what do I need to do to accomplish this?
Right.
That sense of accomplishment is so much better when it's not like, oh, it's okay, we're all going to get a trophy anyway, no big deal.
We're all coming home with the medal.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not easy to fail, even though I'm not competitive. I don't like failing. I was a nerd in school, in college. I wasn't the best student in middle school. Like, I barely passed. And I tell my daughter that all the time. And it comes so easy for her to pass her classes. Like, I really had to study. But I also felt like I could teach myself anything. If I was interested in the subject, even though I didn't go to class all week because I was cutting class, I would read the textbook and be ready for the exam. But I really had to put in the work and teach myself. And so I grew up, you know, thinking I can teach myself that. If I put in the work and I study, I can teach myself that. And that's kind of how I see everything today. Like, I'm always reading and learning and hearing podcasts because I feel like the more I learn, the more valuable I am, the more I can help, the better, you know, CEO I can be, the better mom, the better wife, all the things. But when you fail, that's like a hit. And we were talking about, we had another finance person in here. We are in full-blown planning phase for our International Women's Day event in March. And so we had some of the group here this morning, and we were talking about planning. And then we just started talking about FINRA exams. Those in the finance world know, depending on what type of products you offer, will require different FINRA Series 7, whatever. So we were talking about the Series 7, and I remember taking that exam and taking it for the first time and failing, and she talked about she took it 3 times and sat in her car, and she remembers crying. She remembers being in the room with someone else who had failed, and he was in the car next to her, just upset and distraught, because you're just like, oh my gosh. And when you're doing it for work, there's so much on the line, because a lot of times if you don't pass it, you cannot continue to do your job.
Right.
So you either got to get let go, or they give you, it depends on the company. Some companies give you 3 opportunities, some 1, some, you know, so it just depends. So there's so much weighing on that test. So the failing, you know, the failing number, it just hits you different. And it's kind of like sucky, because she talked about she was already enrolled. I was already doing the work, but now the requirements required us to have this exam. But it didn't change what we did, because it was just a piece of paper that said, now we are registered as FINRA, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But it didn't change what we did.
Is it a pass-fail, or is it a number?
No, it's a number. So you need, I think it was like, you need a 67. So if you got a 65, and I remember I was just points off, you still fail.
That's
the
gotta
average,
be tough.
I think it was like 75 of what people would get on it.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the puts and the calls and the this and the that and the options and all the things that are on those darn tests. And I said, I never want to do that ever again. It was the hardest time for me. And now that I'm a lot older, it'll be hard to study. But we talked about that. And so in preparing for today's podcast and thinking about that time, that was a failing time for me. And that's what I was going to get into next. Let's talk about an example. Yvette, if you can start off, what was a time where you failed and then later realized that it was actually something that was going to help or was going to be a blessing, but at the moment you didn't see it that way?
So many different things. I can specifically go back to when I was in healthcare. I had nothing to do with the clinical side of it, but I was in public relations at the time. And when I was in the hospital, I don't even know if this is a failure, but it's something that I learned a lesson. Somebody was saying something that wasn't true, and it had to do with misappropriation of funds within the department, in the public relations department, because we would have they were sports agreements to where we would get endorsements, or we would endorse the Miami Dolphins, the Heat, the Marlins. So we would have a lot of money coming in and out. And unfortunately, there was some finagling of funds within the system by the director, and she was trying to pin that on me. And I felt that I had failed in appropriately seeing what somebody else was doing, and I was transferred to a different department. Ultimately, it came to show that person had swindled or over $1 million. But that would have been pinned on me had it not been that I was transferred to a different department. And from there, I ended up leading 5 other different departments, and it ended up being an opportunity where I ended up better. But at the time, I thought I was a failure, that I had done something wrong, when I knew never in my life would I didn't have the opportunity. I would have never done what was done in that department. And different times, even in situations and relationships in life where I thought I had failed, relationships had failed, I thought I had done something wrong. Like, what's wrong with me? Why? And then I realized, had I been faithful and had I listened in the first place to what I knew, I knew God was taking me in a different direction, but no, that's what I wanted, and I went there, and that failed. That's usually when I fail, when I'm going in a direction that I'm not supposed to be in the first place. Now I realize, and I look at it not so much as a loss, but a lesson.
Change the L, the narrative of the L. So instead of a loss, a lesson. I love that.
Even different situation, but you were taking your finance tests when I decided to become a teacher, that I moved up here. The first time that I had ever really failed was when I took my teaching certification exam for math. I knew the math backwards and forwards, inside and out. The math was not a problem. They needed an algebra teacher for certification 5 through 9, and I took the test very comfortably, and I passed all the math portion of it. But it was a pass-fail test, and I failed it because I didn't know the statutes for teaching. Like, if a student needs a 503B or a 40 whatever, like, if they need this, what is it that you're supposed to do? I know what to do in the classroom, but I didn't know what the state tells you should do, which isn't always the same thing.
Right, and it changes.
Right.
Yeah.
So the statutes, I didn't know about that. And it's a pass-fail test. So they give you a piece of paper, and it just says your name, fail, real big. That's, I think, the first time I ever saw a fail, and it hit me hard. I don't think I told many people. Still to this day, I don't share, like, oh, I took it the first time and I failed it. Like, we don't easily share that we failed, and that it's okay to fail. I knew what I needed to do. Then I took it again and obviously passed it. But those are hard lessons that I think we all need to go through.
So what lesson do you feel like you got from it?
It does not, that does not define who I am. Just because I did not pass something does not imply that I am a failure. I am not that test. I am not that situation. I am not the circumstances. I am separate from those. But when you identify yourself as your product,
that's where it is, guys. That's the problem. If your identity is so tied up into the thing, right? Because I'm going to tell you, you're not going to be great at it all the time. It will fail, right? I'm not saying when it fails. It will. Something's going to happen that's not going to go your way. And if your identity is so tied to that thing, then what happens when failure does happen? Then you lose yourself.
Yeah.
And you start questioning, I'm a failure. I don't know this. Then you start becoming disappointed and you can get into this funk. So it's so important. That was such a good point. You are not that, right? You are not a person who fails. You just failed a test.
Right. I failed that.
You're not the person that fails.
Right.
You just failed a test.
But not until recently. I know you and I share podcasts with each other. And even little Instagram posts or things that I see. I saw one just recently. And I don't know. I feel like I share a lot of stuff with you, even if I don't see you. So I don't know if I had shared that somebody asked, who are you? And somebody said, well, I'm a mom. No, that's not what I asked. I didn't ask. That's a label. Who are you? Well, I'm the owner of Vision and No.
That's still a label.
That's still a label. Who are you? Who is Jeanette? Who is Ivette? Down to the core.
What represents you?
Who are you? Take off all those labels. Take off the wife. Take off the daughter. Take off the mother. Take off the business owner. Take off the teacher taking a test, the finance professional taking a test. Who are you? We tie ourselves to all of those different labels so much that then when one of those things fails or doesn't succeed because of things that are out of your control, you feel like you're a failure. That's why when our children make a mistake or children do something, we feel like, oh, we failed.
Right.
No, you are an amazing mother. Or if you didn't pass that test, you didn't know those statutes. Go learn them.
Go learn them. Exactly.
That's it. You're not a failure.
Right.
So we shouldn't let our roles define who we are.
You're right. So true.
Lessons, not losses.
Lessons, not losses. For me, I'm going to say, I spent many years in the trading world. I designed my education around it. I got a master's degree in MBA, and I always saw myself at the big corner office, working my way to the top. And thankfully, I was able to move up, and I got to experience all of that. And I guess when I got up there, this is after, my walking mortgage of a student loan. I call it my walking mortgage. After the many years, after all of that, I saw just how ugly things were at the top. And then I said to myself, I don't think I want to be at the top. And then I changed the narrative and I was like, I'll be at the top in the company that I form. So that I don't have to go according to their rules, and I don't have to hurt people, and I don't have to let people go, and I don't have to make these decisions, right? And I understand in business, sometimes you have to make those hard decisions. I'm not saying I opened my own companies to avoid that. But I just saw the nature of folks and how cutthroat and how it was just so ugly. And I was like, I could never be this way.
Yeah.
And I can never hurt people or look people in the eye and then make a decision that's going to affect them in their homes just because we want bigger bonuses, right? That was never me. So when I decided to open my own company, I got a lot of pushback from people. I mean, and this is family that love me. Like, what are you doing? You have an amazing job. You have great benefits, great salary. Like, you're able to do so much. You're leaving it to start your own business and something you've never done. Oh, you're still going to work, right? This is going to be like your side thing. And you're still going to work and you're still going to have your career, right? And I'm like, no, I'm saying goodbye to it all to start this new passion project. And I think it's going to work. And I was super excited. And I'm not going to lie, for a moment there, I sat and I thought, am I failing by doing this and turning away? Because
I made a different decision.
I made a different decision.
You walked away.
And for a long time, because every start of a business, there's a lot of uncertainty. You don't start seeing a profit until year 3, and all of the things that we're now seeing, 3.5 years later, I had to just hope I was going to get there, right, in the beginning. And so all those thoughts coming back, like, oh my gosh, did I make the right move?
But you didn't just hope. You prepared.
Oh, I prepared, and I was ready.
You were more than prepared to take that leap of faith, so to speak.
Yes.
You had a big, great foundation to where even if
it did fail, I was ready. I wasn't going to starve my family and lose our house, and I didn't want to do that with opening a business.
Yeah.
So I made sure my husband was always supportive, and I was like, but don't worry, I'm never going to make a decision that's going to affect us. I'm going to try my best to, yes, we're doing this together, but not to, interfere with what we got going on at home. And I worked really hard at it, but it doesn't change the fact that I still got the questions like, why are you walking away from a career you've built? You spent 20 plus years building. Why are you walking away? And I'm like, well, what's the worst that can happen? I try my business. It doesn't work. I go back to working. If that's the worst that can happen, why not? Right? I'm the most prepared I'm ever going to be, right? Because I got to save the 2 years of salary, and I got to, create a cushion for myself, and I got to make some money, put some money aside so that I have for brick and mortar and all the things that you need to lease a space. So I was prepared for it. And I was like, if I don't do it now, I'm going to wait and never do it. So I took the plunge, and thank God I did, because how many lives has this place changed?
I
right? It's just sometimes we sit and we just look at each other, and the things that we hear and see, and the people we're able to pray for, and just the businesses we've seen grown. There's been businesses that have outgrown us, and where they're celebrating with them. It's sad to see them go, but they know they have big cheerleaders in Yvette and I. We've seen established businesses. I mean, we've seen a lot. We've seen family growth.
And I've only been here a little over a year.
Yeah.
I can't
so much
imagine
in a year.
I can't imagine in 3 years how many blessings have occurred in this place.
Yes.
And I do like the perspective of when a business is here and they no longer need to be here. It's not that we failed. It's not that they failed. Their time here.
The season has changed.
Yeah.
We know that there's winter, spring, summer, fall. There's different months, different things. And I am a woman of faith. And I believe that God moves us in different directions and different places. And, sometimes Yvette will say, I have some news for you. And I replied, I kind of felt that was going that way. We're going to be okay. It's okay. Oh, yeah. They did the right thing. They informed us. We're going to pray for them. And it's going to be okay. And not even 24 hours later, I'm like, I told you, God is good. I don't know how he does it, but he always does. And, it's not to say you're not going to be nervous, right? Because I was like, oh, shoot. Okay. Time to pivot. And I didn't even get a chance to pivot. I'm like, what do we already have in the works? Okay, let's just follow up.
But isn't there a different sense from when you first started? There was some sort of a sense of fear.
Urgency, fear. Yeah.
that feeling is no longer the same, at least for me. It's no longer fear. It's now like, okay, it's a little uncertainty.
Yeah.
It's just the uncertainty of what's going to happen and trusting that God's going to guide in the right direction. There's no longer fear involved because that fear implies that I'm in control.
Right.
And that I don't know what's going on, or that it's going to be something scary. Like, we didn't fail.
Nope.
It's just, where are we going now? Where are we headed now? So, I guess it's just reframing how you think, and looking at things in a different way, and not attaching yourself like you are not finance.
Yes.
You know a lot of finance, but you are not finance.
Yes.
I am not this job.
Yes. You know what? And your attributes make you really good at what you do, right? Because I always tell you that I hated math. I just hated math, but I was very good with money. Since a little girl, my mom would give me $1 and I would go buy a bunch of 10-cent candies and be in the corner flipping them with my friends who had a quarter. I have a quarter, so I'll sell 10 cents candies for a quarter. And now that $1 turned into $4 or $5.
Right.
And I was always good with money. I made good financial decisions. I was always able to find sales. All my friends wanted the name brand stuff. And I found this outlet in upstate New York, and found a bus that can get us there. And I'm like, okay, we could all buy the Nikes, and the Calvin Klein was a big thing back then. Yeah. And all of the names at half the price. Let's all go to Harriman, New York, for my New Yorkers out there, and go to the outlets. And now, we would make a whole thing. And then we would go to the stores, and I would not message because we didn't have cell phones back then. But I would tell my friends. We had pagers and beepers, so where you had to call it and to actually tell an operator what you wanted the pager to say. And I used to say, let's meet here at whatever time. And we found someone that was 18 and over, and my grandfather had a van. And so I said, if we all give $25, I will convince my grandfather to rent us his van.
Wow.
And so we all did that, and my grandfather would make a couple $100 from us. So look how, the investor mindset, Papi, you renting us is, may he rest in peace. I said, Papi, we're all going to give you $25. It's 6 of us. Look how much money you're going to make. And we're going to fill up the tank. Trust me, we're going to be okay. They can drive really good. They have a license. And he will let us use his van.
I love it.
He would let us. The first time he sent his wife, my Anati, his wife, and to come with us. And after that, we would rent it every couple months because she told him, okay, they could drive good. The person that was driving can drive good. And that's what we would do. So you're definitely
a finance person.
Finance person. I'm good with numbers. I follow through those little attributes that make me. Some people can say, oh, that makes you weird. Is the reason why I'm able to succeed in my field, right? Yeah. And so your attributes, what makes Yvette is what helps you to be good at all the other things. But it doesn't change who you are. Those attributes are you. That is part of you. Right? If you were to ask your daughters, describe mommy, what would they say? Right? Yeah. And those are the things, that description is what makes you you. And that's why you can walk out and you can sell with some energy. And you believe so much in what you're selling. You're not going to sell just anything. No. Even though you can. But you believe and you're so passionate about what you sell that it just oozes out and it's natural. You don't even need to try. So that's because of who you are. You're great at what you do because of who you are. You're not who you are because of what you do. Right?
But for such a long time. Tell me that you were not.
Of course. If I didn't have
Jeanette finally made it.
The little girl from the Bronx that was taking a bus or a train to Wall Street every day. Mm-hmm. I used to work at 1 Wall Street, Bank of New York, on Wall Street. And that defined me for the longest time because I didn't want to say anything else. I was just a girl from the Bronx. No, I was a girl from the Bronx that now worked at Bank of New York and was learning about trades. That's who I was for the longest time. Everything was tied to my role.
I think that happens to many of us. What car you drive, a house you have, what position you have, what... all of those things. I
mean, I still like nice cars. That's the one thing I spoil myself. I don't care. I'll shop the outlets. I'll support my local consignment. I'm not picky. But when it comes to my car, girl, that's the one thing I gotta spoil myself. I was on buses and trains my whole life. So that's like, between that and having a full fridge, like I have to have like food in my fridge at all times. And I don't like to throw away food. I hate throwing away food.
I think I've had like 20-something cars.
I love it.
Yeah.
Why not? Who says that we can't have nice cars?
You and I are always going to be rolling in style.
rolling in style. I love love it.
Why? I don't think I've ever asked you, why don't you like math?
I don't like math. I didn't feel like I was ever going to need algebra. I didn't think I was ever going to need those things. Like the percentages, the money, that part I loved. Yeah. And I did so well. Anything that was leading up to adding and subtracting. Now you get to the algebra, y equals what? Why do I need to know? You know what I want to know about y? Why? Why do I need to know this? Not why is what? Why do I need? Tell me why. I'm in trading. And so I started at 16, right? So here I am in high school math, algebra and all these other statistics. And I'm like, okay, statistics I could see because you need to. So that was good. I did pretty good with that. But when it came to the algebra and the calculus and all that, okay. No. Why do I just want to pass it. Like, and I needed tutoring. Like, it was hard. It was hard because in New York, you also need to pass like the Regents exams to get your high school diploma. It's kind of like FCAT here.
Yeah, the EOC.
Or used to be FCAT back in the day.
Yeah.
In New York, it's Regents. And if you don't pass that, you don't graduate. So it was a lot on the line. I wanted to go to college, but I had to pass algebra and calculus and all this crap that I knew I was never going to need. And I never used it. Except now when my daughter asks to help her with her homework, and I can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, Joe, he's very good at algebra. Very good. So, or I'm going to send her to Yvette.
You think in Excel spreadsheets. I think in algebra.
Yes.
If I need, and I think you do too, you just don't realize it. Because your why is if I have this. Yeah, but you're including
alphabets in the math. That's not even. There should be a sin. There should be no alphabets in my math.
You know why I probably like math so much? Because
it's factual.
It's there's no feelings.
Yeah.
It's all just
transactional.
Facts.
Yeah. It's all
2 plus 2, 1 plus 3,
that.
half plus 3.5. A quarter plus 3 3/4. They're always gonna. It doesn't matter which way you split it up. They're always going to be. It's based on facts, not how I feel, not what I want. You're always.
But that also makes up a big part of you. So maybe math allowed you to disconnect, because you're still feely.
I'm very feely.
But
now,
maybe math allowed you to not be feely. Because you can also be, fun and outgoing and just spontaneous. And it's hard to be both.
It goes back to what we said at the beginning. Because you start
feeling about people, well, if I'm spontaneous, how is this going to make so-and-so feel?
Right. But it's based on, okay, how do I want to have that other person perceive me? And I don't want to fail at what they need. Back to the failing thing. I don't want to fail at what you need.
There's no expectation. It's the facts. Okay.
Back to where we started with our being thankful for our children. And I said my children are me in 2 different bodies. One is the straight up, ROTC, black and white. This is the way it is. No ifs, ands, or buts. And the other one is, woohoo, this is fun, life, happiness, and rainbows, sunshine. Right? But yes, and they're me in 2 different bodies.
2 different bodies. Wow.
But the failing, I think many of us are scared that we're not going to be, we're not going to cut it for whatever someone needs of us. That's why we were also talking about our children earlier, and we're glad that they're very safe. They're very safe and very secure in who they are. They do not change their identity to please anybody. Yep. You like me this way, great. You don't? I'm so sorry. Yep. You feel that way? I'm not changing myself. To where our identity should not be tied to what we do, what we accomplish, what we don't accomplish. No, I don't know how to even start saying when I started disassociating with my worth is not tied to what I've done and whether I did it right or wrong. To where there's, I think a lot of people.
It's just something you did. It's not who you are.
But tell me
how does the world perceive you?
Right, and
tell me what you did. Right? What was the old saying that they used to tell you? Be careful who you hang with. Dime con quien tú andas y yo te digo. What is it?
Dime con quien andas y te diré quién eres.
Yes.
Tell me who you hang around with and I'll tell you who you are. But it may be that
perception is reality. How people perceive you is what they will think is the reality. So true. But that also still shouldn't allow us to sit and put labels on ourselves based on what we've done.
No.
Not at all.
And fear shouldn't be our enemy. Fear should just be something that we learn from.
Mm-hmm.
And that perception, it's just the way we look at different things.
Mm-hmm.
I think fear tries to protect us. It's when we see a threat, then our brain tries to protect.
Oh, yeah, it goes in protection mode.
So then you're scared. Oh, since I'm scared, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
But it's a perfectionist. The perfectionist in us, I think, that doesn't want to fail. When we should not associate failing with.
You're right.
With
Didn't
being
we hear
a threat.
in one of the podcasts that so it's a mindset shift. So the same endorphins that fear lets out is the same endorphins that excitement lets out. So you got to tell yourself, I'm excited. Change that, right?
Gary V talks about that a lot.
So change it where even though you're starting to feel nervous, right? Because you get the knot in your stomach, but you get that same feeling when you're excited about something.
Right.
So change the narrative in your head and say, I'm excited about this. Even though you're telling yourself you're scared, start switching the narrative and see if that helps you. So the whole goal for our conversation is don't be afraid to fail, right? If you see something new that you want to try and you feel like it doesn't work, then just fail with grace. Fail forward with grace and give yourself grace to say, okay, I tried something, it didn't work. And now where's the lesson in this? It's not a loss, right? And so, we always like to leave you guys with some sort of call to action. And I think Yvette hit it on the nose where let's change that L word from a loss
to a lesson.
I love that. I'm definitely gonna, I think something else we talked about is creating some sort of journal. And we love our journals. Remember, we talked about it in the first episode, I think, where we were going to try to create one, but then it's going to be a binder with wheels because we want to have a planner with a journal and then everything else in it and just a one-stop shop. But yeah, for me, I like to write things down, even if it's not so good, because it gets it. And Yvette talked about this, about writing your feelings and just leaving it there, and the action of just letting it out and leaving it there and moving on. I think that was a great example she gave us. So thank you, Yvette, for that. And did you want to have any final words for our folks listening about failing and not being afraid to fail?
One of the notes that I had written for myself was, because I know that we get into talking and then we may go off. The note that I wrote was, fear also tends to disguise itself. It shows up as procrastination, perfectionism, overworking, self-doubt, and even anger. I think many of us, we think that we need to do, constantly be on the go. Take those moments to just slow down and enjoy, especially with Thanksgiving coming up, the holidays coming up. Give yourself some grace. You don't need to accomplish so much. Sit down and write down those things that you have accomplished this year. What am I thankful for that has happened in this past year? Because I mentioned it just a few minutes ago. Still, it is so hard for me to believe that in only a little over a year, I cannot imagine my life without this space, without Jeanette, without your family.
Ditto. I just told you earlier. I'm so excited I'm here, even though we have so much stuff to do, but it's just great to be here.
And I think we just need to take time to reflect on those moments and just say, life is perfect just the way it is. When I stop trying to make life perfect, I start to see how perfect my life is. And you start enjoying it. Just the way it is.
I like that. When you stop trying to make your life perfect, you stop and see how perfect your life already is. Love that. Yay, Matt! That's gonna be the bottom on our journal when we get to plan our planner.
When we plan our planner. Stop planning. We're going to plan our planner.
Ay, Dios mío. Oh my gosh, this was excellent. Thank you, Ivette.
Yes.
Give yourself some grace. It's okay to fail. If fear of failure is stopping you from doing the thing, then change the narrative and say, I'm not afraid, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same feelings, it's those same endorphins. So now just tell yourself, I'm not afraid, I'm excited.
That I get to experience
I get to
this,
try something new. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But
and if you want somewhere to try it, come to Vision and Heels. We're always
we'll be your
cheerleaders.
Try. I'm telling you, we have 70 plus members that can attest to us being their cheerleaders. Either virtual here, we will be your cheerleaders. We will definitely help you get through the hump, and you won't feel alone, and you won't feel scared because we'll be right there with you, holding your hand.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So I don't have a funny word, but I'm gonna say something in Spanglish. Que tenga un buen Thanksgiving.
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 What do you call a turkey in Spanish?
El turkey.
El turkey. That's how you say it in Spanish. El turkey.
Vamos a poner el turkey como las 6 de la mañana y después ya.
El guanajo.
El guanajo. El pavo. Llegó el pavo.
Sí, pavo, guanajo.
Llegó el pavo.
El pavo.
If you're Dominican, I'm sure you heard of Llegó el pavo. It's a merengue song. And then you hear the turkey in the back. You ever heard it? You never heard Llegó el pavo?
Now I need to listen to it.
Oh my gosh, now you need to listen to it. Okay, so
Llegó el pavo.
My Spanish folks, go ahead and Google Llegó el pavo. It has a little tone to it. And it has a merengue tone. Oh my God, it's so funny. It's so funny. All right, guys, have a super duper blessed Thanksgiving. We are excited to be spending some time with our family. Vision and Heels will be closed tomorrow and Friday, but we will be back on Monday.
Yes.
By the time this show is released, we will already be back here.
And in December.
Oh my goodness.
December
Insane.
already. I know.
December already. All right, guys, we love you. And until next time.
Many blessings. We love you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Wow, that was some strong cafecito we poured today on Vision and Heels Uncensored. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. We are truly grateful, as it really helps us pour more into your heart straight from ours.
Remember to live your truth, handle your business, and shine bright.
We'll be back soon to pour some more. Stay blessed.